Let's be honest, business can be really hard, can it? I've been fully self-employed for the last 9 years. Just celebrated 9 years. Survived and thrived in the last 9 years. And 9 years ago, I decided to go all in and become fully self-employed and run my business and go all in on this dream that I had about doing the work that I love. And 9 years ago, I wasn't starting from scratch. I was, for the 7 previous years, I was already doing what I love. Not in exactly the same kind of way that I'm doing it now, but I was already teaching yoga and mindfulness and movement and doing some coaching and bringing my training and knowledge and understanding, primarily working from the yoga and wellness studio that I was running initially with a friend and then on my own. So when I left social care, and I was working in social care for 16 years, when I left it, I was already, for the last 7 years of that, I was already creating a business on the side. And I was already learning and doing courses around how to run business and all the strategies that you need to know as a business owner. Something that I certainly did not learn when I was working in social care. And since then, over the last 9 years, I've made loads of changes. I closed the yoga and wellness studio. I worked from home. The pandemic hit. I moved everything online, or most of it online. There is a lot of things that happened over the last 9 years. I changed my business model. I really stepped into what I believe is most aligned. And I still am continuing to refine it. I'm still training, I'm still learning, I'm still developing my skills. And really, this is the path of a business owner. And this is true for any field. Like, if I think about the social care, how much training I've done on mental health in various forms and shapes, how many trainings I've done on therapeutic and psychological approaches to working with people, how much training I've done on a group work and how to be able to deliver group, how much training I've done on risk assessment, care planning, team building, supervision, liaising with others, how many hours I spent in meetings, how many hours I spent in supervision, clinical supervision, my own team supervisions, reviewing our approach, how we work, how we do things. This is normal. For some strange reason, what I'm seeing in some areas and modalities of the wellness world is this lack of understanding that this is what you have to do. You have to continue to refine your work, your understanding, your learning, and you need to have supervision or mentoring spaces where you can discuss that work for you to get better. You need that support. I learned that really quickly when I left social care, from having loads of support in place, loads of procedures, loads of step-by-step approaches, loads of meetings to review this work, to see that we are on track, to look at the plans, to have accountability, to not having anything. And so many practitioners that I work with do not have that. They're trying to do it completely on their own, completely without any support. And no wonder that so many of us are struggling, that so many of us are trying to work it out for ourselves usually through signing up for countless amounts of free webinars where people tell you what you need to do, but not necessarily how to do it, and almost never how to actually make it your own. Because that's the key to success. That's the key to having an aligned business, the business that you love. Not doing it on your own completely or following somebody else's framework to a T, because that might not feel aligned, that might not be aligned with how you like to work, with your strengths, but actually learning from others so you don't reinvent the wheel and then make it your own. Taking time to listen to your own inner guidance. Listen, create space for inspiration to come. Inspired in spirit. This inner guidance that comes through you, that comes from the unified consciousness, from what I like to call life. You might call it something else. You might call it unified consciousness, the field, the universe, the source, that whatever you call it, the consciousness. When we are in stress, when we are in survival, we're not open to receive that inspiration, that connection, that sometimes people call it downloading, which sounds a bit woo-woo, but it's this sense of something landing. Oh, I've seen something in a different way. Oh, I have this idea. Maybe I could do it in a different way. Oh, I haven't thought about this in this way. Maybe I could try that out. And there is a sense, even as I'm saying it, there is a sense of playfulness. Oh, I could do that. Let's try this. Let's see where it takes us. That's the field of potential. And what I love the most about my business is that I get to be creative. Yes, I'm learning from others how they're doing it, and then I'm taking it and changing it. I'm making it my own. I'm playing with it. I create stuff and see, oh, maybe that will work, maybe that will work. Let's see. Let's see what's possible. And for me, that's that connection with the soul, with my soul, with just what's possible. But one thing that I have to say, I'm not the only one doing it. And I work with women who are at different stages of their business. And I know that at the beginning, where we start the business, it can feel like a Sisyphus work, like you're pushing the boulder up, you're pushing the boulder up, and then you get tired of the pushing and striving and hustling, and the boulder or this big stone rolls down, or it feels like it rolls down to the bottom of the hill. We have to go back and start doing it again and again and again. And the key in here is to learn to push it steadily without over exhausting yourself. Because at the beginning, there isn't a momentum. You have to do it. You have to put maybe more work in. Maybe you have to work out what would work for you, what would work for your clients, your community. You might take time with understanding exactly your messaging. Like, you know what kind of clients you want to work with, but it's difficult to talk about it. It's difficult to say exactly what it is. You might not be clear yourself. So how can you explain it to somebody else? I'm not the only one who've been through that process. And in my training certification in trauma-informed somatic teacher and coach for women, I teach female practitioners the soma, psyche, and soul coaching method. And we start with the soma part. We start with the body, we start with taking care of our needs in this moment, our basic needs that so often are left unmet. Maybe we've been people pleasing or sacrificing our well being for the needs of others. Maybe we've been overworking. Maybe we've been hustling and pushing and exhausting ourselves in the process. That's where the burnout starts. It's those basic needs are not being met in the right way. And so we have to start with this foundational piece. We have to start with really paying attention, taking time to reconnect with ourselves, with kindness, with compassion. And for that, we have to allocate time and create some space to do that. Once we put that foundational work in place and it has become more embodied, then we start also working with our mindset, with our beliefs, with our perceptions, with the way that we are perceiving everything. Because whether we prioritize our needs or not, that's what we believe is important. But then we can also start working with our soul. Once we embraced ourselves fully, we can start to embody more of what we want more of in our life. Maybe more gratitude, maybe more kindness, maybe more connection, maybe more honoring our needs, maybe more showing up in a different way within our business, maybe doing things differently, maybe doing things that are taking us towards our dreams and starting to look at the field of potential. What else is possible? What else I could do? What else? What else? What else? What lights me up? What would be fun to do? What would be joyful? What am I inspired to do? This inspiration doesn't come through if you are in a survival mode, if you are continuously in a fight or flight, if you are in a shutdown or freeze. That inspiration rarely comes. And so we want to change our state. We want to change our stories, and we want to create space for that inspiration. So I want to share with you a case study, somebody that I've been working with for the last couple of years, a female practitioner who I have so much respect for, who've been through the mill, really, who've gone through a lot of challenges at the beginning when we started working together within her life, within her health. There's been some bereavement, that's been relationship breakdowns, that's been health challenges. And at the same time, she didn't stop. She took time to take care of herself, but she stayed engaged. She took a break, but then she stayed engaged. I had the pleasure of working with her in the training certification. And also she's been working with me within our community in embodied business, mandala mentorship and mastermind circle. So doing two things that every business practitioner needs to do: mastering her skills, learning this new modality, becoming trauma-informed somatic teacher and coach for women, and working on her business development, understanding how to grow the business, but also working on her mindset. I call it embodied mindset, working on her limiting beliefs, working in the field of potential. We are so conditioned within our society now that it's this promises that things will happen overnight. And yes, things can happen overnight. There can be instant or very quick shift in perspective, in understanding. Things land, things shift. I see it in a different way. And at the same time, embodying something is about showing up on a daily basis from that space, from that identity, from that way of thinking and feeling, from that way of relating to yourself and others. Just like habits take time, embodiment takes a little bit of time. So the shift and the inner healing can take place straight away. And to see changes in your reality around you takes a bit of time. Doesn't have to take a long time. It takes a little bit of time. Once we start following this inspiration, great things happen. Like my clients saying, I'm fully booked up. I'm fully booked up. I haven't got space to take new clients. She shifted from working only as a yoga teacher into working as a coach, bringing people into somatic coaching, creating her own coaching group course, writing articles about her approach, her unique point of view, and how she sees things, how she works with clients. And loads of it is based on her embodied wisdom, on what she's been through over the last couple of years, and the wisdom that came through it, the practices that she used herself to help her heal, and what she's doing with her clients. And suddenly, it's almost like a miracle. Suddenly, things are landing. Suddenly, other women are reaching out to her. Suddenly, she is fully booked up. Her offerings are selling. But what she's done so well is what I know is true. You need to become really good in the way that you're working with others. You need to be able to explain it in a very, very simple, everyday language to your clients. You need to link your story into it to really convey that this is coming from your embodied experience, your embodied wisdom. This work is linked to that. And you need to work on your business skills and create your own business model that is aligned with your strengths, with the way that you like working, and working on that business in a consistent way. All of those things need to be in place, and that's what takes time. The beautiful thing in here is you will definitely 100% be fully booked up when you do that. If you don't do some of those things, it's unlikely that it will happen. Or it will take a really long time, and it will feel forever like you are pushing that boulder up a steep hill, and it will always feel like you are 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Or like I heard another practitioner in one of the groups that I'm part of said, I feel like I'm stepping 1 step forward, 2 steps back. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And that is disheartening. This is why so many business owners, women in particular, leave being self-employed. Because it feels so hard. It feels so hard when you are alone, when people around you, your friends or your loved ones, don't understand what you are doing, when you're trying so hard and you're quite tired because you're working so hard, but you're not seeing results. I remember years ago, my partner said, well, I don't understand why you're so tired. You're only teaching yoga. Which was really painful because he didn't understand what I was doing. He only knew that I was running some yoga classes and some one-to-ones. He didn't understand everything else that went into it. He didn't even know that I was coaching people. He only knew what he thought he saw. He didn't know all the other stuff, especially the business stuff that happens behind the closed doors, behind the scenes, that you need to do. So my message to you today is get some support. Get some support. If you resonate with the way that I work, if you connect with the Soma Psyche Soul approach and the energetic life source approach, the universe approach that we bring into it, then reach out. Let's talk. Let's see how I can support you, whether one of our programs is right for you, how you can move forward so you don't stay stuck or worse, give up completely. And if it feels like you're ready to really take it to the next step, wow, let's do that. Let's do that. Those quantum jumps happen when you do things in a different way. When you say yes to yourself, when you say yes to the inspiration and the calling that you have, things can change. In fact, that's the most profound truth of life. There is just constant change. Can you start choosing consciously? Not in a risky or reckless way, but in a conscious way. Knowing where you want to get to and knowing that often we just need support around it. So I hope this was inspiring for you, and whatever you do not give up. Keep moving forward. You only have one life. Have fun with it. Take care for now.